Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Still not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Maybe one day. Good afternoon. Today is the 24th of March and this is part 6 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the 2023 Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show here at the NEC in Birmingham. I do apologise in advance if I fall over, if I get things wrong, if I get interrupted by announcements or music. I'm afraid that's just the way that it goes on this channel. So we've got this very nice Triumph Dolomite here. It's one of the very last ones, probably an 81 model year, 8081 on a W plate. And this is the Sprint version. It's absolutely lovely, isn't it, with the overdrive transmission. It's a shame that they stopped making those when the Canley plant closed in 80 and the production of the Claim, which sort of replaced the Dolomites, was all done in Cowley. Triumph 1500 TC here, 74-75 registration. This was the replacement for the front wheel drive 1500. It actually got rear wheel drive like the Dolomites. Very nice period colour. I think that's Rio Brown. Forget now. Also we'll have a look at this one that's having a bit of work done. Another Dolomite Sprint. It looks like quite an early one actually, judging by that badge. I mean, I could be wrong. That's come out of storage somewhere, hasn't it? Or even just been stored outside. Wow. No, it's not that early actually. It's 75-76. I did say I was going to get things wrong, viewers, and it looks like I did. No surprise there. So Triumph 6 Sports Club, we've got a couple of 2000s or 2.5 PIs. Can't tell unless you start looking quite carefully at them. This is probably just a 2000. The estates are quite rare actually. They were made by car bodies. Plenty of stuff going on in there. Later ones, of course, were the 2500s. The S model kind of replaced the very problematic 2.5 PI. Speaking of which, this is a 2.5 PI. It's the Innsbruck facelift on a J plate, so 70-71. Someone's actually been using this for motorsport, otherwise they wouldn't have put those things on the side, would they? Got some more Triumphs and Standards coming up. Ooh, that is pretty nice. There's some mini lights as well. This looks like a Vitesse, and it is. It's a very late one. It's a Mark II Vitesse with a beige leather interior and wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior. I haven't driven the Vitesse. I've driven the Herald 1360 with 1.5 engine, and that was pretty fun. Although I would like to have a brake servo. The brakes were a bit scary without a servo. 1973 Triumph GT6 Mark III, very late one. They kept changing rear suspension depending on the mark of things. And 73 they stopped production entirely. I don't know why. They were pretty nice cars. I thought the Spitfire got into light in 1980, so I don't know what was going on with that, but there we go. And the Standard Motor Club here. Standard was, of course, a company that owned Triumph for many, many years. The chairman was literally Sir John Black. This one, that'll be either an 8 or a 10. The very early 8s didn't even come with an opening boot, because why do you need anything like that? And yep, that's an early 8. There is no opening boot. Yeah. What things do you not need in a car? Well, way of getting in the luggage area. Yeah. This is a much later Standard. This would be a Vanguard. This would be a Vignale Vanguard actually, this one. This would be sort of late 50s, early 60s. One of the very last cars they actually made. Someone can correct me, but I think that's the case. You can see here, this is a later Standard 8 from that one there, and it's actually got an opening boot. Luxury. Didn't have to fold the rear seats to actually get in. Then we've got another standard here. This looks a fair bit older. I don't know what year this would be actually. Not really an expert on one of these. This is where I rely upon information sheets that sometimes people put in, sometimes they don't. Oh, there is one there. But yeah, I don't know views. Made down the road in Coventry, of course. The Sag Owners Club have only got one car on show for some reason this year. I'm not quite sure why, but it is very, very nice. Doing some work over there on some of the component there. Yeah, it's auto. This isn't. Yes, it is. So this is Mark II in that case. The colour looks a lot brighter on camera than it does in real life, which is really weird. Porsche 944 on the Motul stand. Don't know exactly what year that is. Who knows? Guards red, I think the name of the colour. And we've got a Cobra. So there's a genuine one or not. Well, let's see a look at the interior. Oh, I don't know. Might be. Maybe it is. If that's a genuine Cobra, that would be an extraordinary amount of money. The Maguire stand has got this racing Jaguar S-Type, which looks very shiny. The one that I have at the November show is obviously a lot bigger than this, and they have some incredibly nice cars on it. We also got this Mark 1 Escort 2-door ST2000, because I think that engine looks like a Duratec, so I don't think we've got original engine in this. I don't know even if a shell is an original sort of RS shell. It might well not be actually. It might well be off something a little bit less exotic. Mind you, this will be worth an absolute fortune anyway, because they always are, aren't they? More 70s Mark II Escort goodness here. Mark 1 and a Mark 2 here. Again, I think that's probably a Duratec engine in there. Could be something else. But yeah, I don't know if this was originally been an RS or something like that originally. Maybe it's just a standard 2-door Escort. Let's take a look at the back. Probably doesn't say anything. No, it doesn't. But you can obviously get this on the dream car giveaways, like this Escort RS Cosworth. Just got my cable caught there. It's always a hazard of walking around when the later part of the day, because my battery's running low and I have to put it to the power bank. Very rare, one owner for 19 years. Petrol blue and stunning. It is about 95 or so, that would be. What have we got here? We've got more some MGF going on here. Yep. I think that's a Tahiti blue from memory, that particular colour. Could be wrong. It's lots and lots and lots of MGS which is on the road. There's something like 5,000 of them or something. There's quite a few. TS, I think there are even more. They became classics pretty much after they came out of production line. Wow. I think this is a 328 Ferrari with a huge surfboard in the back. I'll just check. Oh, it is a it's a 308 QV, like the one in Magnum PI. And it's got a beige leather interior. It's pretty special, viewers.
Long time no see.
It'd be remiss of me if I didn't actually film this 1974 Vauxhall Victor, which is on display here, having been recently bought by Great British Car Journey, where I went in January to film an awful lot of their collection. I'm hoping to go back at some point actually this year to do more. I'm not going to open up the inside, but if I did, I'd find that this car was in superb condition. It's got a few spots of rust here and there on the paint, but the paint's actually pretty good. The car's got tiny mileage on it. The owner had another one of these. He had an estate, but he kept this in storage for years, and nobody really knows why. And lots of petrol cans in the boot, possibly because he was a sort of survivalist or something like that. We don't know, but interesting, isn't it? What have we got here? Daimler, Lanchester and BSA. Yes, they all were in the same family of companies for quite a while before Daimler got taken over by Jaguar in 1960. BSA did make cars for a short time, although they weren't doing so by 1960. Lanchester, I think, disappeared in the mid-50s. So a 64 Daimler SP250, or a Dart, sometimes known as. Actually, two of them here. I think this is the V8 engine out of a Daimler Dart. It's 1960 here. The engine actually was used in a later model called the Daimler V8 250. The early ones were called the 2.5 litre. Designed by chap called Edward Turner. And they put that into the body shell of a Mark II Jaguar. Don't know what this is. What have we got here? Oh, it's a Lanchester LD10 Saloon. There we are. That's something new every day. Also got a stand here. Got this Rover P4. Someone's left the door open to take a look. I have actually driven a Rover 100 like this. Belongs to Alex from Alex's Assets, who is not here today. I think she's coming to a show tomorrow. This is a gleaming example of a Rover 100. Look at this. This is 1960 and it is beautiful. It's amazing how much these are not worth. They're really not actually as expensive as you would imagine that they would be. 1969 Hillman Imp Super. That's been modified for I was trying to say competition work, but yeah, it's got roll cage, so it would be, but it's got a much more modern interior in it than that would have come out of the factory with. I have driven an Imp, funnily enough, from the Great British Car Journey, and you can see that review on the channel on Sensible Secondhand Classics. So I've got a Triumph, I think this is a Renown? Oh no, it's 800 Town and Country Saloon. Registered in 1949. So yeah, what we call the Razor Edge Triumphs from memory. I'm not an expert on these by any means, but I do know some stuff about them. And of course, this is the same era as that Triumph Roadster from Bergerac, isn't it? Needs a bit of sewing up that seat, but actually it's pretty good. It's not bad. And speaking of which, this is the Triumph Roadster Club, and here is a car that looks very much like the one that was used in Bergerac, but now it's been on the Father Brown Mysteries. That looks absolutely stunning. Look at the condition of that. Again, I'm not that fond of dicky seats viewers. They don't really agree with me particularly, but maybe that lady in the back is not so fussed. This one's going to have a little bit of restoration, I can see there. And here's what they look like again once they've been done, which is, well, it's rather nice. What on earth is this? Oh, it's a Triumph TR7 Estate? I didn't even know they made these viewers. Let's take a look. We've got any more rare TR7s on here. Crayford. Triumph TR7 Tracer. It's one of one. No orders were forthcoming. Yeah, this is the only one. TPE 944S. This would be a very early V8 engine one. Yeah, I don't know if that's a prototype or something for the TR8s. I'm not sure they were actually available to the public until a bit later than that, actually, in my memory. Imported from Abu Dhabi. The shell has never been welded, so it's just been rebuilt. Wonderful. Another TR8 here. Excellent. We are enjoying ourselves here today, viewers, seeing all these lovely British cars, although I have to say that driving a TR7 isn't necessarily like the best experience. The suspension's a bit sort of on the worn side, which one I drove, which car was a bit worn, unfortunately. More British Leyland stuff. This time we've got a Maxi. This looks suspiciously like a Maxi 2. It's an L. By this stage, only one engine was available for the Maxis. It was the 1750cc E-Series. Very late one. Finished production in the middle of 1981. So 81-82 plate, so that makes sense. Maxi 2 was only available for a brief time because here's an earlier Maxi on a 1980 plate, I imagine. This looks a bit more luxurious. It's like an HLS or something. Complete with vinyl roof. It's a 1750 HLS that was sort of as good as it got at the time. That wood veneer on the dash. Nice velour of the seats. I have driven a Maxi. It was a 72 1750. One of my friends owns it. And that was interesting as well. Again, seems to be the theme is very late Maxis on the stand. They started in '69 and ended in 1981, and they weren't really developed that much during the production life of the car. This is Vermilion, 1750, so the lower end of things. Oh, another car that I've actually driven. This is 68 Austin 1800 Mark II, and Alan is hard at work doing this. You might have seen this car actually on the channel. It was Sensible Secondhand Classics. I have driven this. It's having, I think, because the grill on it was not the right one, so there's changing it over and doing some more bits. It's hard at work there. Oh, with some Allegros as well. Again, one of the later Allegros, this one, Allegro 3, 80 to 81. Not sure exactly what's going on. Maybe some of the underneath's being done, and only a 4-speed this one. So maybe let's have a look at the engine. Yeah, it's probably a 1.3, isn't it? Something like that. This one. I was right. It's a 1.3L. I got Allegro Estate here as well. Car loops oil for hydroelastic suspension. This has also got Quartic wheel on it, although that's too late for a Quartic wheel. People put them on the earlier cars as well, which they look sort of interesting, which they do. And it is, yes, of course, the 50th birthday of the Allegro this year. They were launched in 1973 on an L. This one looks absolutely amazing. Look at this. Wow. My feeling is this one is, yeah, it's a Series 2 Allegro. Don't exactly know what specification it is. I imagine that's probably a 1.3 actually, again with that engine. Just going to have a look here actually at the Bond bugs before I miss them out entirely. Most of them were 700 ES. They were made, I think, from 70 to 74. Same chassis as right like Regal. I think the same engine is actually as well. Most of them were this colour. I don't remember if you could get any other colour apart from special order, but I think some people have repainted theirs. It seems to be very popular always. They have this iconic shape and iconic colour, don't they, of the era. Oh, here we go. It's Arrow Makes or Hunter, this one. Oh, it's a 1969 Hillman Hunter GT. Or rather just Hillman GT, it says there. It's hardly a banger, is it? It's not really a banger at all. It looks very nice. So then we've got the Midget and Sprite Club. It's probably a Frog Eye, isn't it? What? It's interesting. It's got a Nissan Barrett engine. 67 MG Midget Mark III. I've driven a very similar one to this. The one I drove was a 68 actually, in this colour. It's owned by Lyndon, who bought his Talbot Sunbeam Lotus to the show actually this time. He's got several classics, but he has a Midget and that Sunbeam as well. Frog Eye Sprite. And then we have, I think, the type that replaced the Frog Eye Sprite, which is this one. Let's call it the Mark II. Still haven't got any external door handles. We do have an opening boot, so we're getting more practical, aren't we? So this will be about 61, 62, something like that. Other end of the scale, we've got this midget, about 1970 on an H. See, we're at a restoration show, and that had the cylinder head taken off. Another Frog Eye Sprite here. Again, the underbonnet access of these is just absolutely amazing. 1972-73 Triumph Spitfire, that's in Mark IV. Again, these old British sports cars, some of them have amazing underbonnet access just like this. Crazy, isn't it? Same for the chassis, Beavis Herald. Like a lot of Heralds, it's had this sort of mini light style wheels fitted to it. 65 Herald 1250. Yeah, the Herald I drove was a 3060 convertible from 68. It's owned by Alan, who you saw working on his Land Crab over there. I have driven some really interesting cars over the years. Channels existed, and I'm very grateful to everybody who's offered me one. That's why I always put a little appeal to anybody who wants to offer a car for the channel at the beginning of each video. Triumph, it's a Super 7. Yeah, it's 29. It's not an Austin 7, it's a Triumph Super 7 with a fabric body. And here's a Triumph Gloria Vitesse. The Vitesse name and also the Dolomite name are actually quite old. They're a lot older than the 70s. This Gloria here does look very, very nice. I love the smell of these old cars. It's lovely. And then there's just another Super 7. Just make sure I don't fall over here, viewers. Or get trapped on things, as is wont to happen. Yeah, Super 7 Hoyle Coupe from 1928. It's the only example of one. Right, let's go and look at some Volvos. Why not? Let's look at some Volvos. Now this is a Volvo Amazon police car. It's run by the Hampshire Constabulary, registered down in Portsmouth. I think it used to be shown by Steve Woodward, who I have met, and I'm very grateful to some of his help with making some of the videos on the channel. He's an expert on older Volvos and a former policeman. This was the first ever Volvo ever used as a police car in this country. It's a 120 estate from 1966, and Steve used to own it, but he's not the owner of it anymore. The Volvo Heritage Collection have actually bought this. And it's got all the kit that you would need for doing, motorway patrols and things. Motorways were very new at the time. They needed a good car that's better than the Humber Super Sniper they also tested. Another Amazon here, but a bit of a later one. I forget exactly what some of these were called. Fortunately, somebody's got the information sheet for me. Yeah, it's a 131 from 1967, although that wasn't registered till 68 on a G, I should think. Have we got something rather unusual at the back of here, viewers? I think we have, actually. Not just this 1960 PV544, that's pretty interesting. I can't remember if actually these were ever made for this country, but oh, look at this. A Volvo 262. Wow. Yes, by Bertoni, I think was the design, and much lower than a normal 264. Volvo 200 series came out in '74. This was with the PRV engine. What year is this? 82. One of the last ones then, actually. So we've got this Daimler Conquest Century, so called I think because the price was $1066. Yes, that's right. I think that's why it was called that. Another Mark 1 Caprice, the third one we've actually seen. West Midlands Sports Club, I think it's called this one. So we've got Chapel there. Oh gosh, what's the name of it? Licorice All Sorts, isn't it? That one. Broadspeed Mark 1 Capri from 71-72. Broadspeed, of course, the company who also made the big cat for the new Avengers, the XJC. And then they've got this Rover 200, the R3 bubble shape they call these. I don't know what specification it is, but by the time this car would have been made, I'm pretty sure that they don't the engine size on the back. No, it says 200. I used to own one of these. It's pretty much identical to this. It's really strange. Mine was a 214 SI. I don't know what engine or anything this is, but yeah, mine was on an S 98. It was in that colour. And then we got some more Volvo stuff going on here. We like classic Volvos, viewers. Of course, I had a classic Volvo until it died earlier this year. Never mind. Maybe we'll get another one. Ooh. Is that a 480 turbo, viewers? No, it's just a 480 ES. It's still very nice though. 93 480 ES. I have driven a 480 ES on the channel. It was a 1.7 in 1988. Again, one of my friends owned it, and it's pretty good. I do like 480s. And we got a 740 here. This is a very late 740. It's a facelifted one, which is from 1990. But they facelifted the 740 and then kept it in production for 2 years at the same time as bringing out the 940 the same year as this car, which was really strange. The 940 saloon is quite different from the back. The front end is very, very similar. So the GL, I imagine this will have the probably a 2-litre red block in it, maybe about 110 horsepower. This will be a later 480 ES, but it'll have the 2-litre in it. Yep, it does. Very, very fun cars to drive, the 480s. Another police car here. This is the V70 T5 police car from 2002. I have driven one of these, on the police car. It was a normal V70, not a T5, with a white block but not a turbo engine. That's on no budget reviews, and a nice big different interior as well. This is not the car used in the Saint. It's like a replica of one. It's a 65 Volvo 800S with the same wheels, I think, that actually the later ones in the Saint actually had. There were several cars used in the Saint. This isn't one of them, but it's very similar to one that would have been used. We had about 4 or 5 in total. Another one of these trucks, and gosh, they're big, aren't they, viewers? Big old trucks. Oh, look at some Saabs as well, why not? I just filmed a Saab for the channel as well. It was a 1983 Saab 900 GLC. It's a bit different from this 9.3 convertible. It's a facelifted 9.3 convertible. And I hope it's not a one that I can't talk about on the channel as well, viewers, because it looks rather resplendent in this yellow. They made these, I think, until about 2011, 2012, or something like that. Because Saab sort of went under twice, unfortunately. Yeah, it was very nice. I have driven one of these. It was an earlier one. It was an auto. This is a manual. You didn't have to lock it in reverse. You took the key, obviously, which you do on the early Saabs. It's 2008. Oh, Saab 9.5 Aero. Ooh, yes, please. Oh, that's amazing. Fabulous. Yeah, the automatic gearboxes are going to facelift to first generation 9.5 with the Saab H engine in it. In fact, the Saab 9.3 convertible that I drove on the channel in, it was April 2021, looked a bit like this. I think it was this colour as well. This is a manual. The one I drove was an auto. You can still pick these up for not an awful lot of money, actually. Ooh, Saab 9000 Griffin, dark green with beige leather interior and wood. Viewers, very, very nice indeed. Yeah, Saab 9000 Griffin. This is a late sort of first facelift, effectively. CD. The latest CDs have a slightly different front end, but that is probably the ideal spec I would have for Saab 9000. That is amazing. I want one. Yes, please. And then we've got some 99s here. It's earlier 99, this one. Okay. So this might actually still have a Triumph slot 4 in it, actually. The very early 99s, I think 68 onwards, until about 72, they had the Triumph Slart 4, so it's a 2-litre version of the Slart 4. It's not the same as the Dolomite engine, though. It could be, this is on the case, it could actually be the very early Saab B engine, which was different entirely from that. So yeah, I think it's a 2-litre, it's the very early version of the Saab B engine. 900s are quite nice to drive. They interesting. Oh my gosh, 99 EMS. That's very special. Wow. 1976 Saab 99 EMS. 2-litre fuel injected engine. Yeah, it's very similar to the one, but it was in the early 900s. That's amazing. Viewers. Yeah, Saab B engine. Amazing. The 900 was kind of like a heavily facelifted 99. Centre section was similar. This one, of course, is 900 turbo, it's the one everybody wants, with a leather interior. This has the earlier door mirrors on it, so yeah, this actually is a pre-facelift one. It's a very early 16 valve. The facelift occurred around sort of 1987, and this will be 84, 85. But you know, that's my favourite car on the stand. That is absolutely amazing. I would very much like something like that. Anyway, viewers, I think that's quite enough for the first day of this Practical Classics classic car restoration show here at the NEC. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for more incorrect information.